Have you ever stopped to think about how huge companies manage to keep track of literally thousands of employee phones, laptops, and tablets? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain and demystifying the architecture of Microsoft Intune, the powerhouse system that handles all of that. Let's dive right in. But first, just take a second to think about your own work setup. You've got your phone, right? Probably a laptop, maybe even a tablet you use for work stuff. So who's actually in control here? Who makes sure all those different devices are secure and have access to the right things? That one question, that's the key to understanding everything we're about to talk about. And this leads us straight into what we call the modern device problem. It's not just that the number of devices connecting to company networks has grown, it has absolutely exploded. For the IT teams trying to keep everything secure, this has turned into a massive headache because every single one of these devices, or endpoints as they're called, is a potential doorway for trouble. Okay, so let's start with the classic, the work phone. It's owned by the company, sure, but it lives in your pocket. It's full of confidential emails, sensitive files, and has a direct line into internal systems. It's probably the first potential weak link in the security chain, and it needs to be locked down tight. Now, let's make things interesting and throw your personal laptop into the mix. You use it for work sometimes, don't you? Most of us do. This is the whole bring your own device, or BYOD world. And it brings up a really tough question. How does a company protect its own data on a device it doesn't even own without, spying on you? All of a sudden, this puzzle gets way more complicated. And of course, we can't forget the good old office desktop. You know the one. It's plugged right into the network, sitting there in the office. But even that machine still needs its own unique set of rules, updates, and security policies. Every single one of these endpoints presents a totally different kind of risk that someone has to manage. So when you add all of this up, you get a perfect storm of business challenges. You've got security gaps popping up all over the place, especially on personal devices. You've got policy chaos with IT trying to juggle different rules for different gadgets. And what does that lead to? Frustrated users who just want their stuff to work and inconsistent access to the tools they need. It is, frankly, a recipe for disaster. So how in the world do you tame this digital chaos? Well, this is where our solution finally steps into the spotlight. Let's talk about Microsoft Intune. So what is Intune, really? The easiest way to think about it is as a cloud-based command center. Its entire job is to manage who gets access to what and to make managing all of your company's apps and devices incredibly simple, no matter where they are in the world. You can really break Intune's mission down into 3 key jobs. First, it sets the rules. This could be anything from requiring a PIN on your phone to making sure your laptop's hard drive is encrypted. Second, it deploys the apps your company needs, and it does it securely. And third, and most importantly, it protects company data by making sure every single device is playing by those rules. Now, to really get how Intune works its magic, we're going to use a really simple but powerful analogy. I want you to imagine your company's data is like an exclusive members-only club. To get inside, you have to get past 2 very important gatekeepers, the bouncer and the rulebook. And that's because Intune doesn't work alone, not at all. Its real strength comes from a super tight partnership with another key Microsoft service. And honestly, this partnership is the secret to its success. And here they are, our 2 key players. On the left, we have Microsoft Entra ID. That's our bouncer. His job is all about managing your identity. He only cares about one thing, and he's going to ask you one simple question. Who are you? Then on the right, we've got Microsoft Intune. That's our rulebook. Intune manages the devices and apps, and it asks a totally different but equally important question. Is your device compliant with our rules? So the bouncer checks your ID, and the rulebook makes sure your device is up to snuff. Okay, let's watch this whole thing play out. An employee, we'll call her Sarah, grabs her phone and tries to log into her work email. And so the process kicks off. The very first thing that happens is she meets the bouncer. Microsoft Entra ID steps right in to check her credentials, her username, her password, maybe a quick code from an authenticator app. It's just confirming that she is who she says she is. But hold on, she's not in yet. Once Entra ID gives the thumbs up on who she is, it hands her off to Intune, the rulebook. Intune immediately inspects her phone, and it starts asking questions. Is this device compliant? Does it have a PIN? Is it encrypted? Is it jailbroken? Which is just a fancy way of saying, has its core security been messed with? It's basically a full health check for the device. And only, and I mean only, when the bouncer has verified her identity and the rulebook has confirmed her device is compliant,
Is access granted? Boom, Sarah's in her email. And this powerful two-step security check happens in the blink of an eye.
So what makes this whole bouncer and rulebook system so darn effective? Let's take a look at the real, tangible benefits this brings to a business. Well, for starters, this partnership directly solves that perfect storm of problems we talked about earlier. First up, you get unified security. Why? Because you're not just checking the user or the device, you're checking both together. Second, you get simplified management, which totally erases that policy chaos by putting all your rules in one central playbook. And maybe the best part? You get user freedom. You can finally let people use the devices they love as long as those devices meet the security bar you've set. And here's the bottom line. It all boils down to the number one central place, what we call a single pane of glass, to see and manage every single endpoint, every phone, every laptop, every desktop, whether it's owned by the company or the employee. That right there is a huge leap forward from the chaos of before. All right, we have covered the problem, the solution, and the architecture that makes it all work. So, what's the one big idea, the main takeaway you should leave with today? It's this, right here. The old way of thinking was all about controlling the physical device, locking it down. But this new, much smarter approach is about securing the user's identity first, and then making sure whatever device they're using is safe enough to access company data. It's a huge shift in thinking, one that truly gets that people work from anywhere, on anything these days.